Hare Krishna. We'd like to say a few words about separation from the devotees in remembrance of the very wonderful special devotee Pankajangri Prabhu. Gora Graganya Gana Gocha Goloduhadam Goranga Gudatama Gopyada Kopa Briksham Gopala Gada Ratidam Yati Singha Gora Govinda Deshi Kavaram Satatam Namami Vanchakalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, with the disappearance of Pankajangri Prabhu, the entire Vaishnava community has been submerged in the ocean of lamentation and pain. I'd like to say a few words about the nature of that pain and how it's a very amazing thing, and within that pain is also union. We should contemplate about the nature of our feelings. Personally, I'm not going to lament for Pankajangri Prabhu. He spent a whole lifetime serving the deities in a very intimate way in Mayapur. Srila Prabhupada was very, very pleased with Pankajangri and Jananivas Prabhu for their dedication. Pankajangri left his body in Mayapur with devotees chanting the holy names around him, and thousands of devotees all over the world doing kirtan and praying for him. he left just a few feet away from the Panchatattva in the Sridham Mayapur. It's an inconceivable thing. It doesn't get any better than that. Right? So then how do we understand, how do we contemplate this situation? In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he describes, Sudivanadi Pratya Shri Vishnu Jana Sangate Vichedanakshanam Yat Chatra Nasukam Sam Labamahe. He says that for us, the association of the devotees of the Lord is more desirable than life itself. Because when we don't have that association, he says, Nasuka angsam labamahe. We can't find any happiness. What is the meaning of this verse? It's a very, very deep thing. Srila Prabhupada, in many places, he says that this feelings of separation is the topmost feeling in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. But how do we understand that? Do we want to feel separation? Are we supposed to feel happy when the Vaishnavas leave? No. We should understand this in a very deep way. The Sattvata Tantra describes Hari Lila Satochara Padesha Satatantvaya Karya Prityastavahare Yata Bhaktinanashiti, that we should learn how to love devotees. And if we do that, Yata Bhaktinanashiti, our bhakti will always be protected, because by loving the devotees in this way, we'll develop bhakti. And how do we love devotees? Hari Lila Sutochara, by being Krishna conscious with them. We love them for their Krishna Katha. We love them for their service. And if you love the devotees, it means you love Krishna. When Krishna went to Hastinapur and he spoke with Duryodhana, he told Duryodhana in Mahabharata, he said, Yastan dvesti samam dvesti, yastan anu samamanu. If someone hates me, someone hates my devotees, it means they hate me. And if someone loves my devotees, it means they love me. Why is that? In his Krishna Lila Stava, Srila Sanatana Goswami says a very esoteric thing. He says, Rupa Namashrita Vishta. that when someone takes shelter, ashrita, of Rup, the deity form of the Lord, or the form of the Lord, and Nam, the holy name, then Avishta, Krishna enters into that devotee. So Pankajangri Prabhu did so many years of wonderful service for the deities in Mayapur. We can't see those deities on our own. We'll look and see, oh, it's a nice stone deity. But when we see the loving service of Pankajangri Prabhu, then we can see Lord Nrsingadev. Then we can see the devotees. We can see the deities. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj says that we only have that happiness and that association. Therefore, Mahaprabhu told Haridas Thakur in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Haridas was telling him that I want to leave this world early, Mahaprabhu said, Kintu, he said, but Kintu Amara Jesuk, Jekichu Suk, Sabatomalana. He said, the only happiness I have is in your association. That's real happiness. Dhruva Maharaj, he prays to the Lord in the 4th canto of the Bhagavatam, Bhaktim Muhu Pravahatam Tvai Me Prasango. He said, my dear Lord, you please give me association constantly with those devotees who are always serving you, who are always doing bhakti to you. Because if I have that kind of association, then Nishi Bhavad Gunakatamrita Pana Mata, then very easily I'll be able to cross over the ocean of material existence. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, in his Sarita Darshani commentary, says a very profound thing in this verse. Listen carefully. It says, Sa Chashavana Kirtanamui Bhakti Satsangam Vina Nasurasi Bhavatiti Satsangam Pratayate. That bhakti, even if that bhakti is Shravana Kirtanamoyi, it's made out of hearing and chanting. But he says, Satsangam Vina Nasurasi. If there's no proper association, it's not sweet. So we don't lament for Pankajangri Prabhu. He's with Krishna. He's with Srila Prabhupada. Wherever he's at, he's with Krishna. Wherever he's at, he's with Srila Prabhupada. He's doing service. But we lament for the devotees. We lament for feeling separation from them. Jagadatma Prabhu, Prabhupada's disciple, once asked my Guru Maharaj, Shishimad Gaur Govinda Maharaj, he said, Maharaj, you speak so much about how we should feel separation and cry for Krishna, but how can we cry and feel separation if we've never seen Krishna? And my Guru Maharaj replied, when I leave, then you'll be able to cry. So, by associating with devotees in a proper way, by hearing and chanting, we develop love for Krishna. And Krishna is love. By hearing and chanting, by doing service with those devotees, by seeing Pankajangri Prabhu's phenomenal service for the deities in Mayapur, for his service to Srila Prabhupada, it melts our heart, and we learn something about love for Srila Prabhupada. We learn something about love for the deity of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter to a very young devotee in 1968, and he spoke about this separation and how we can have union. He said, our business is to chant and glorify the holy name of Krishna. That's our business. And wherever we may remain, Krishna is with us. And then Prabhupada said, listen carefully, he said, Krishna is within your heart. Krishna is within my heart. So spiritually, there's no question of separation. Even physically, we may be in a far distant place. This is the mystery of separation in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. If we're associating in Krishna consciousness, if we're Krishna conscious, then we can associate always with Pankajangri Prabhu. If we associated with him during his presence in a Krishna conscious way, if we take our inspiration from him by seeing what he did in his service for Prabhupada, in his service for the deities, then there's no question of separation from him. Therefore, we call this a Viraha utsav. 2 words. Viraha means separation, and utsav means a festival. For those of us who are missing the association of the devotees, it's not a festival. Rupa Goswami, after he left this world, Raghunath Das Goswami, he prayed in his Prathanashraya Chaturdasika. He said, Sunyayate Mahagoshtam Girindro Jugarayate Vyagratundayate Kundam Jivatu Rahitasya Me. He said, now that I've lost that person who's Jivatu, he's the sustainer of my life. Now that I've lost that devotee, now Sunyayate Mahagoshtam, the whole land of Braj, becomes Sunyayate, it becomes void. Girindra Ajagarayate. Giriraj Govardhan has become like a great python. And Radhakun Vyagratundayate Kundam. Radhakun has become like the gaping mouth of a ferocious tiger. We feel great separation from the devotees after they leave this world. But in that separation, there's something very special that happens. It's a Viraha utsav. For us, it's not an utsav, it's not a festival. For the residents in the spiritual world, it's a festival. But for us, it's Viraha. And we don't offer flowers, we offer tears. We cry in their separation. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has explained a very esoteric meaning of the word Viraha. Viraha means separation. He says, but Viraha is a compound word, Vi and Raha. Vi, he says, means Vishesha Roop, a special form of what? Raha, Rahashi says, means Rahasya Milan, or mysterious union. That Viraha means a special kind of mysterious union. When we remember the devotees in Krishna consciousness, we can directly associate with them. As Srila Prabhupada wrote to that devotee, Krishna is within your heart. Krishna is within my heart. So spiritually, there's no question of separation. Even physically, we may be in a far distant place. So what happens at the time when the devotee leaves this world, we learn to cry. But in that crying, we can actually learn to cry for Krishna. So I want to offer my humble pranams millions and millions of times over to this great soul who's left this world. And I pray to Pankajangri Prabhu, not for Pankajangri Prabhu, I pray to him that please bless me that I can get just a tiny drop of your attachment to Srila Prabhupada, a tiny drop of your love and devotion and dedication for the deities and the service. Hare Krishna. All glories of Pankajangri Prabhu.